Do the intro music. We're
Dun,
live.
dun, 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 dun,
Close to it.
dun, dun, dun.
That's for you, Scott. We miss you. Oh wait, it is 8 o'clock. He probably is done by now. Send him the link. He could jump on. Or already did message him. Hey guys, there's some people in here. We're gonna talk about life on life's terms.
Kind of like everyday, but
Huh?
kind of like everyday life on life's terms. But what to do now? Now that we know that drinking and drugging is not an option, and fully automatic weapons aren't an option either. So,
Well, not okay. You're gonna get me canceled. No, but I hated that saying when I heard that. The first time I heard life on life's terms, it was when I came into the rooms and I'm like, what does that even mean? That's so stupid. And then I'm like, oh, duh.
yeah,
Obvious what it means. But I really didn't know how to live life at all. Like, I'm not shitting you. I don't even know how to explain that. But I'm thinking that a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about or felt something similar, right, Adam?
absolutely.
I struggled to grow up, and drugs and alcohol kind of made me feel like I wasn't grown up. They stunted my growth for me emotionally so I could stay there, or so I thought, but it didn't work, right? Because I still got older and like life's problems stacked up. But I learned how to live honestly by people in hell yeah, people in recovery or in sobriety, whatever. Dakota said, Lindsay, you don't live life on life's terms, you live life on your terms. I can dig that. I can dig that.
Yeah.
Because well, the thing for me too is always trying to control things that I have no business even trying to control. You know what I mean? I know it sounds so cliche and it's like you hear everybody say that.
That is probably a better explanation or a better saying.
Yeah.
Is not necessarily you're uncomfortable living life on life's terms, is that you're uncomfortable with everybody else living life not on your terms.
Yes. I thought I was literally the center of the world. People said it to me all the time. You're like, the world doesn't revolve around you, Lindsay. And I'm like, yeah, the fuck it does.
Yeah, that's probably one section of the big book that actually does make sense, is the whole thing about being the director and the stage hand and the center. Yeah. But at the same time, what I got into initially was say, okay, life doesn't revolve around me, and I made it revolve around everybody else. It completely put my wants, needs, and desires on the back burner and just forgot about them. And that actually caused me more harm than anything.
Yeah.
So there's a delicate balance there, but I'm going to let you kind of segue further into that.
It's interesting though. My friend Jason, my really good friend Jason, he said something similar to what you said. He always was, I guess he calls himself the codependency flyer or the picture of codependency. I don't know how he said it, but because his therapist used to say that to him.
Right.
And
poster boy.
Like the embodiment of codependency. And he got better over the years, obviously, but God, I love him. But he always is like, me and him are kind of opposite. So like it would be funny. I'd be like, don't fucking apologize. You know what I mean? But it just people always would like, he always cared about other people and he suffered. And then mine was always like,
oh, you muted yourself.
I was the opposite. I cared too much about myself.
Right.
But not really care. Like it was just self-obsession and whatever you would call it. It wasn't that I was caring for myself in the correct way of self-care and caring about myself so that I don't drink and use drugs and destroy my life, right? It's like self-obsession of like, what makes Lindsay feel good? That was my higher powers, me.
Yeah. Well, you know, that question right there, what makes us feel good, for a long time, the what makes us feel good was answered from a very superficial, materialistic way. And that's exactly what drugs and alcohol do to us. When they hijack that dopamine system. Hey, this is amazing. I feel great right now. You get that sense of satisfaction. But what actually makes us feel good, what I call, the natural, the high quality dopamine, which is hard to get, that you have to work for, you have to set goals and sacrifice and sweat for, is what really makes us feel good.
Right.
And part of learning to live life, excuse me, on life's terms is learning to recognize what those things are for you, for each one of us. There's very few people out there that are probably going to go, hey, I want to go throw a piece of wood and spin it at 3,500 RPMs and then hold a razor blade to it. But for me, it's a lot of fun.
What is it? Say that again. What, like wood? Oh,
wood turning, yeah.
That's so cool.
I get in the shop, and for me, that's very satisfying. And if you think about it from a dopamine standpoint, from a neurotransmitter standpoint, I'm taking a piece of wood, and I have this picture of what I think I can make it look like. And then I am literally trying to turn it into that. And it takes time and effort and patience and attention and concentration. And eventually I get to a finished product. It's probably why I enjoy surfing and paddleboarding too, because it takes attention and effort and concentration. And it's something that I kind of naturally drawn toward, but it's not the hobby itself that provides a satisfaction. It's the struggle and the growth and the it's the struggle and the growth and the work that you go through to get there. It's finding something and learning to master it. You're muted again.
My bad. That was my work computer.
Oh, okay. Thought maybe you had an earthquake down there in Florida.
We're good. Sorry about that. I'm so distracted you. Sorry. No, but I got excited. I went for my notepad, and then the whatever laptop was in my way. No, but you said talking about like working on something, and we talked about that last week, like progress in something, working towards something, growth, and that's where genuine contentment and happiness is. Hey, look, everybody left because of my laptop fell. But I did gymnastics. Hi, honey. I did gymnastics when I was young. I was a competitive gymnast. And
really?
Yeah. I didn't tell you that?
No.
I was like, I was like hardcore, like competed. And hey, baby, what's up? What's up? What? Okay. He just ran. So I did, but that always made me feel so good and fulfilled. I totally forgot about that. And I gave that up because of I thought I should get back into that.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
So many. There are adult gymnastics programs all over the place, especially where you live.
Oh my God, there is one by me because what? So this therapist that I had in rehab, with the rehab I got sober at, we became friends.
Isn't it funny how you clarify the rehab I got sober at? Because we have all gone to rehabs where we didn't do shit.
I mean, I didn't do too much shit there either, but man, and they were on my ass too.
Well, we're finally kind of stuck.
That's where most of the magic happened, right? Where I was just I'm done after a few relapses.
Yeah, same for me.
And they took me back. They did tell me,
the rehab.
The owner, John's brother, John was when I interviewed. His brother said, "Well, we'll leave the light on for you, like Motel 8, Lindsay." And I was like, "You motherfucker!" I stayed sober too. I stayed sober for years and worked for them like a year later. And I was like, "Eat your words, motherfucker."
Nice.
But yeah.
Sorry, the therapist at the rehab was telling you.
Oh yeah, I see pictures of her on Facebook with her young kids compete. She's she's older than me and she's gymnast, like good.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into that.
Definitely should.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What else are we?
I'll send you the bill later.
Karate or something? Maybe do karate.
I'm going to tell you what right now. Martial arts is another one that is phenomenal.
I'm gonna do that for Silas. He wants to.
I wish I could get Adeline interested in. We're doing basketball, which is a huge step up from physical activity she was interested in, which was 0.
That's cool
I
though.
would love to get her into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think everybody, especially females, should start there.
I wish I
would. And then eventually work up into a striking art and,
that's
go
cool.
from there. But yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of those things. It's not like you've got to go out and be this insanely talented person like you would for karate or taekwondo and all that muscle coordination you gotta have for that. Jiu-Jitsu is literally learning techniques and just applying techniques. It's recognizing the situation you're in, knowing which technique to use and using it. It's literally like a equation or a formula.
Damn.
But it allows you to completely control somebody else's body. Like if somebody's coming at you and attacking you, you can submit them.
That's cool.
Yeah. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is way to go.
I want to box.
Yeah. Boxing probably be good for you.
I was thinking about it. I should just take classes and just do it right.
Yeah. Yeah. You should definitely look at the gymnastics thing.
Yeah.
But as far as living life on life's terms sober, I think finding those things that give you that high quality dopamine is key.
Yeah.
Because you got to have some way to have fun and be satisfied. And for so long we developed and learned the habit of, I don't feel good, let me get this real quick fix and feel great for a few minutes and then fuck, it's gone. Let me do it again.
Well, and the thing is too, I see it as an outlet, right? Obviously, but drugs and alcohol were my outlet or my coping skills, which I like to say. I mean, they weren't good coping skills. They worked for a while, or so I thought, right? And they were instantaneous. And so now learning to live life, I have to find healthy outlets like that, healthy outlets and a ways to, get my emotion, like we had just been talking about. You're distracting me, baby. What are you doing? You okay? What?
I was seeing
okay, sounds good. Are you gonna sit there and make me watch me? I don't know what I was saying, but
finding outlets.
Yeah, finding outlets. Yeah, can't use the same outlets I used before,
Right.
Well, and there's a ton of different outlets that I could use that are unhealthy as well. That won't do me good either, and I've been through all that as well. And I think the message I really want to share tonight is staying sober and pushing through, even though the shit fucking hurts, whatever is going on in life. Like, life sucks dick sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It sucks big dick sometimes, and that's okay. We don't drink over it. We don't get high over it. We don't act, we don't act out of context because of it, right? I mean, and before I would act out so, I guess I was like angry in the beginning of sobriety. Yeah, I was pretty angry and I would kind of burst. I didn't know how to manage my emotions at all. And so I just burst like, yours 100. Oof, I'm glad I don't do that anymore. That sucked. That caused me a lot of issues too, right?
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
But yeah. So, I mean, I think it's just trying to figure shit out. And the biggest thing I've always kept in my mind is that just like when I was trying not to get high and drink in the beginning, I would think about it and I'd get it's like, you know, you get that trigger and you're like, man, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna do it. And then like you've already relapsed in your mind, right? But then you don't go do it. And you're like, you actually do the healthy coping skill and you're like, you feel so good and you're like, oh shit. But it happens again, right? And then you get through that. And so what I'm trying to say is I can do that with anything, you know? And I think I gotta always keep that in mind that it's gonna be like that with a lot of things in life. And I just have to really,
Well, I mean, what you're saying is what we as alcoholics, whenever things got hard, we always turned to the bottle and never had to face the issue.
yes.
So now you're having to face it. And so the thing is, you're facing this hellacious problem and you don't know what to do. And you know, that famous saying is, if you're in hell, if you're going through hell, keep going.
Yeah.
Eventually get out. And so that is literally the attitude, the mentality you have to have with processing emotions that you don't like. You go, I'm not dealing with that today. Well, you're gonna have to deal with it tomorrow then, and it's just gonna be bigger.
It does.
Well, do it then you keep pushing it. You know, eventually snowballs get really big. You keep rolling the snowball, or you deal with it.
Yeah.
And sitting and was it last? I can't remember when last time I said this, but literally addressing the emotions that you have.
Last night.
Was that last night?
Yeah.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
I feel you.
But literally taking that emotion and going, you know, why do I feel this way? You know, or even if you do know why you feel this way, literally talking it out and, you know, just expressing what you feel, literally just saying out loud what you feel.
Yeah.
Giving that emotion the recognition that that's all it needs.
I am not laughing at you. I'm laughing at myself because today I was in the school line and I was talking to myself. I was doing what we talk about doing. You know, I'm like trying to work this thing out, talking it out. And I go, you fucking dick lick, like talking to myself. And I like, oh my God.
Right at that time, the teacher opens the door and she's like,
yeah, I was like, Lindsay, you don't take that shit, you fucking dick lick. And I was like, oh my God, what? I can't talk to myself like that.
So now we're going to have to work on your choice of words.
Yes, exactly. I know I'm going to get censored. But I just thought that was hilarious because I don't know how to do this stuff. I'm learning how to do this stuff, right?
Exactly, right?
I've learned it for years. You know, it's like I learn something new every day. And so the thing is too, is like, I'm not even like late to the party. And that's what's crazy. Like, that's how much I've had to continuously pick up and try to work on, man.
And so kind of what we were talking about before we went live, I think what we also run into quite often, and we don't even realize it, is that we went from being like last in line as far as knowing how to process emotions, got sober, and now we're fucking light years in front of everybody else because we had to figure it out real fast, in a hurry, because we don't want to go back to being last in line again. And so now you're running into situations with people who don't know what they're doing either.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, you need to chill out. You need to process this. I'll be back in 30 minutes and then we can talk. And the person you're talking to is just like going nuts. You're like, hey man, it's cool. You're just angry. Just
angry.
Fucking chill. You'll be all right. You know, just hey, I'm Adam. I'm angry. This is why I'm angry. And you know what? It goes away.
Yeah. Well, and that goes with what my therapist, I shared this with you probably right after, I think. I don't remember how much I shared with you though, but the book I was reading, Dr. Jean Rosenberg. Remember I told you about 90 seconds to a life you love or whatever. And it's 90 seconds because that's how long an emotion physiologically leaves you from the moment of inception. But she talks about 8 uncomfortable truths, right? Not truths, 8 uncomfortable feelings, emotions that we all get. And she believes that when we're feeling those, we either distract ourselves, usually distract ourselves, or try to try to stuff it or whatever, right? Like rid ourselves of feelings. So she said it's sadness, vulnerability, anger, not powerlessness, helplessness. Did I say vulnerability?
Yep.
Shit, I'm forgetting them. I will post them later, but I was just thinking them the other day. So my therapist said, do this. She said, when you are going through something, you're triggered emotionally and you're feeling some feeling you don't want to feel and that you normally try to push away, you got to sit through the storm. You got to let the wave come over you and you got to feel it. And she said, all you need to do is just address it, what it is. So she said, go breathe in really fast, go calm and relax, and then she'll blow out whatever feeling it is. And she goes, if you don't freaking know what feeling that you're feeling, which I don't know. She said, say all 8 of them. And I'm like, oh, she's like, because you're bound to cover whatever that is. And that's where my idea of today of asking what the emotion is considered for rejection. Robin said, the more mistakes you make, the friends and family you lose, but it's a process that only you can change. And Jerry said, that's what this talk is, I guess, expressing things. Yep. Processing, expressing, trying to live sober. I mean,
and to Robin's point there, I did lose a lot of friends and family for a long time. But I can't really say family. But I gained pretty much all those friends, people that I really cared about as far as friends, back.
Yeah.
And more. Definitely. For sure.
Yeah. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to add or anything you want to talk about? Any topics? Anything that you want to talk about, Adam, specifically?
No, not really. I was thinking Scott was going to jump on here because I wanted to talk about his question.
What?
Let me pull it back.
Oh, did we tell him to jump on? I don't remember. Did one of us? Hold on.
So there's no such thing as overthinking. You're just stuck on your feelings, thoughts. He's kind of asking, it's like, what do you guys think about this? So,
say that again. Say that again. You're not overthinking.
Yeah, his question is, I'll just copy it and put it in here.
Okay. Whoa. Sorry about that. Okay.
So Scott's question on Twitter today, the sober heathen, says there's no such thing as overthinking. You're just stuck on your feelings. And then he said thoughts.
Yeah, because what does overthinking mean?
Yeah, so my response to him was great question. Is it's context dependent? And he said, perhaps I'm trying to think of a scenario where I was overthinking, where it wasn't emotions running the show. So I think there is definitely
yes.
To rephrase that, I think when we're dealing with our emotions, a lot of times we will overthink them.
Yeah.
For sure. Because, like I said yesterday, when we have emotions we don't like, and you just said it again, we either want to sedate them, run from them, hide from them, get rid of them. And the way we do that, our brain says we have to do something in order for them to go away, when all we have to really do is just kind of wait them out. So I think we do get stuck in a loop there, overthinking, and we want to know why we're having this feeling. And it's simply because you're human and you have feelings.
This is what I'm going through currently. And so I'm glad you brought that up. I'd never thought of it as overthinking. I guess it's like ruminating and I get stuck in it. And I think it's because my brain thinks there's a problem to solve. And maybe there is, but it's not like it can be solved by me.
Yeah. It's not anything that you can. Yeah, it's not anything that you can do.
No, nothing I'm even really in control of. But it's almost like I feel like it's an immediate response or an immediate resolve that is needed, and it's not. And it's a lot of what's it called? Instant gratification seems to come in there too, like wanting.
Yeah,
And I just realized that.
that's that instant relief.
Yes, yeah, like we solve this. Like I'm uncomfortable when I'm on bad terms with someone sometimes.
Yeah.
If I care about that person, I could give a shit if it's
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would like to. I used to enjoy it, which is, in my addiction, but it's like now I'm like can't go to bed mad, like selfishly though, and I'll push the
Yeah.
other person, whoever it is, to like,
Yeah.
we got to solve this right now. Fuck your feelings. We're gonna solve this for me.
Yeah. Screw
And
you,
I'm not saying
processing.
that's right. I'm saying like that's
Yeah.
that's the issue.
Yeah.
So I never learned how to, like most of us, I don't know how to process any emotions. I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know how to literally like feel feelings to begin with, and hence using drugs and alcohol. So I did that every single time to where, we just, there is no, I don't know even what feelings are because I'm just trying to numb them. So whatever's underneath, it's just like a big ball of shit, like a
Yeah.
whole bunch of crazy erratic emotions. And years into my sobriety, the past year, I just started learning about emotions. I didn't even want to learn about them. I didn't even realize this until not that long ago, that I was resisting even talking about them, thinking about them, learning about them, because I'd be like,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I get you.
I don't want to talk. I
There
don't
there
want.
are times, and even like there are times where I am unsure about myself as far as like something. There are things that will trigger me to have emotional responses, and they're
Yeah.
big things. Like I'll get really sentimental about something. There are things that will make me sad, but there are a ton of things where I think I still run from a default mode of I don't care, for lack of a better phrase,
Yeah.
because everybody else will be like, "Oh, that's so bad," or "That's so sad," and I'm like, "That literally does not affect me at all." And I
I
can sit here if I make myself break down my walls, again, for lack of a better term, because I don't think I really have any. I shouldn't say that. I don't have emotions turned off like I used to, because I used to have them be like literally just turn the fuck off.
Yeah.
But I can rationalize myself into a more emotional state, which is
Yes.
a weird way of saying it. Like I can sit there and I can start thinking about something, and I can say, yeah, that you see how that makes other people sad, right? Yeah, I see that. It's like, do you see how you should really be feeling sad about that too, right? Yeah, I really do. It's like, and you don't feel sad about that. It's like, well, maybe I kind of do. And so as I started thinking about it, yeah, I'm with
Goofball.
Zach. I prefer to be a sociopath.
Well,
I swear to God, I thought for a
me-
long time I was.
I may have taken many tests and they say that I'm a sociopath sober.
Yeah.
Not even joking.
Yeah. Well, and so that is a very valid point, because I made the argument to therapists all the time. Like, look, I don't feel emotions unless I do drink. And they're like, that's
Ooh.
complete bullshit. I'm like,
Interesting.
So-
Well, my anger came out when I drank. It was like the only time I was able to get it out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, when people talk about emotions, they lower your inhibitions and they loosen everything up. For me, it lowered my, I guess, opportunity cost for me to access my emotions,
Okay.
which, was kind of backwards from running from things. Now I would like run from shit in my life that I didn't like. And I guess that's an emotion too, which goes right to the reason I've left this comment up here where Zach says emotions are abstract.
Right.
Everybody doesn't feel the exact same thing about the exact same things.
No.
And stuff from your past can trigger you to feel one way or the other. But where most people sedate from their emotions, like it took some alcohol for a long time for me to get to where I would freely express emotions. And then as I got way on down the road into the drinking career, I don't know where I was emotion wise. But but yeah, you're right, Jonathan. Sobriety is the way.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean, now I'm fearful that if I were to drink to try to numb some emotion, it just intensifies it for me because I can see the truth of that now.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to be able to see that, but now I know it more than ever. You know what I mean? It's like, so that option isn't there, unfortunately or fortunately, right? Haha, joke. But yeah, like it's not an out. It's not there anymore. And I know that. And I'm obviously glad that I know that. Or I would have picked up again by now, right?
Right.
But I know that no matter what happens, no matter how much pain I'm feeling and just fucking crazy I feel, upset, mad, it's not going to help.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I genuinely know that. And many times I thought it was the only way that I would be able to get through something.
And what goes hand in hand with knowing that is that you're at a point in your life now, you either through sobriety or just through getting older and being a little bit more mature, we're at a point where we are willing to face these issues. So maybe we grew up emotionally and we developed some base skills to where we'll actually tackle them.
Yeah.
And we'll look them head on and we'll try to process them. And that takes me back to that point from just a minute ago where a lot of people, alcoholic addict or not, aren't even to the point where they're willing to look a lot of stuff in the eye. And the difference is we've had to do it in order to get sober. We've had to look at ourselves and go, you know what? You're really fucked up right there. So we got to work on that. Now you see it in other parts of your life and you go, that's really fucked up right there. You know what? I guess I'll go ahead and tackle that and knock that one out now too.
Well, yeah. And I mean, reluctantly still, I mean, you're sober and sometimes I think you even told me today, hey, you're not, well, I don't even think you directly said that, but I know what you meant. You're not letting yourself feel this certain emotion. And I'm like, oh, I'm not, but I thought I was. So it's like, I don't know. It's crazy because I'm always.
It's you rationalizing. It's you going saying, hey, that's supposed to make me mad, or that's supposed to make me really upset, or that's supposed to make me feel this way. So I'm feeling that way.
Yeah.
But you're not actually experiencing. Scott said it perfectly last night. It's like somebody coming back from war and explaining to you how war feels, and you taking that explanation as your own experience. That's what you're doing. I think that's kind of what that's what I was saying is you're experiencing and processing the emotion based off of how you've been told it should happen.
That's
and now you're really kind of experiencing it and you're like, what the fuck is this? I didn't sign up for this shit.
No, it's weird. And sociopaths do that. They like try to mimic what they think.
Yeah.
That shit's wild.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't know. It's a big wild ride, isn't it?
It's life.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Well, and you know what? What if you did drugs what does it say? What if you did drugs trying to die, not just escape your emotions? Oh, well, I didn't die.
Above my pay grade there, buddy.
At the time I felt, damn, I didn't die. I was mad. You know?
Yeah, that's a conversation I would love to have, just to learn your thought process and how I would just really like to have that conversation. because that's not my experience. I can't speak to that in any way.
No, I can not directly relate, but what I can relate to is if death was like the byproduct of me using, you know what I mean? Like I accepted that was a very real consequence that may very
Yeah.
much happen. And
Oh, yes, that I can relate to. I mean, I can remember laying in bed going, I might not wake up in the morning.
yeah,
I am so drunk, I might not wake up in the morning.
yeah,
And then there's, the brain is also morbidly curious about things.
yeah,
If anybody says they've been driving down the road and not had the thought, like, I wonder what would happen if I just jerked the wheel.
yep,
I mean, the brain just does that. And that's one of the examples I use with people all the time about how you are not your thoughts.
right,
That's just a
True.
thought based off of your entire life experience, everything you've ever seen, read, heard, believed. It's just a thought. It's a hiccup out of the subconscious.
Mhm.
And you go, that's interesting. And obviously we don't do it.
Right,
But-
exactly. Look what so Jerry said, so the root causes are mostly psychological. Root causes for wanting to use, you mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say, clarify that one a little bit there.
Because I think I know where you're getting at. But and then Zach said, I did dope hoping to kill myself, and here I am. I have old friends who did dope for fun and now dead now. Interesting.
So Zach, the way I look at that, man, is that to me, if that
Survivor's
doesn't tell you it, well, yeah, there's survivor's guilt there, I'm sure. But I very much believe that things happen for a reason. And
Yeah.
it's not from a religious viewpoint. Very much spiritual, but not religious by any means. And I believe that people are here on this planet for a certain purpose. And your friends probably fulfilled whatever purpose they were here for. Or it could be a freak accident.
Yeah.
So, I wish I could go into depth with you on that, but that's just not anything I'm qualified to talk about. Yeah, it could be natural selection. Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good answer if you ask me. I mean, so like I had this feeling for a while because I've had so many friends die, so many clients die. Many of them just trying or thinking they're buying a pill, right? And then gone, fentanyl or whatever, right? A lot of heroin overdoses, but who knows what was really in that? I don't know. Could have been just heroin, could have been whatever. And meanwhile, I was willingly using fentanyl and heroin, and I wanted more fentanyl. And like people don't understand. Like they're like think, oh, this little bit can kill you. When your tolerance is so high, like it's not like that. I don't know how to explain it, but
No, I've heard stories. Yeah.
it's just really scary. And I was willingly doing that, and I wasn't stopping. And I kind of was like, I guess it was kind of like, I'm going to die. I wanted to give Silas to my mom because I couldn't stop using, and I was going to fucking, but that was the moment where I was like, I'm going to try again and get sober because I just can't do this. Because I'd probably rather end it than live my life in that state. It's scary to be stuck in that. Thank God we're here, and it's wild to think about it. And I drove past my old I was in my old neighborhood today at a client's house, and I had her for a year as a client, and then now she's back again. But so I went back over there again. It's been a few months, and I just like, man, all the old stomping grounds and everything, because I lived right there, and it just, I felt genuinely
feel-
grateful.
Did you feel relieved or did you feel nostalgic?
Kind of just like, I see you. Like a mutual respect, something. I don't know how to explain it. It was weird. Just a reflection of like an acknowledgement that damn, that was yeah. And I remember the time where I was driving past there, and I remember I was laughing and I said, like, outside of my fence, I'm like, that's where I was like on shrooms thinking I was walking through the wilderness, but they were just little bushes. I was like laughing at myself. I'm like, all this dumb shit. Um, no, but seriously, it just, all the craziness. And it's like another lifetime. Thank God, man.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine it anymore.
Yeah.
It's weird. What does it say? My buddy, don't say the H word on here. I think I might censor it. About to do himself once they got a call for some dope, took the right in house.
Wow.
That's how powerful this shit is. It's sad. But you know what? I really think that's why the consistency and showing up every day like this, and when I'm having a shit fucking day, showing up and talking about it and crying and being with you guys, it keeps me going, right? Like, it's important. It's the consistency of that, because it's easy to just say, I don't want to fucking do anything today. I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to isolate. I mean, I said that to you earlier, that like it's so easy for me to just be like, hey, I'm gonna disappear from online for a week or two, and I'm gonna just hide out. And it's like, for what?
Yeah. So my previous career, I started off in fitness and strength and conditioning. The one of the phrases we used a lot was, "What's the most important workout?" It's the workout on the day you don't want to work out.
Yeah,
that's the most important one.
True.
And it's the same thing here. The most important day to show up is the day that you're just like, fuck everything.
That's exactly how I live. Huh?
You got to ground yourself back in reality.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, I mean, I'll be on here and just like laughing at something. It's because I don't want to fucking do some of this stuff every day. Like, I don't think people realize it. And it's like, I have to, though. Like, I know myself, and I know that I have to show up, because shit can get out of control. Like, if it'll just spiral if I just start, I'm not going to go do that today. Oh, I'm not going to, I love to just call off work. I mean, I used to do that shit all the time. Mental health day. But you know what I mean? It's like, I just have to do all that stuff really just for peace of mind and to stay sober.
Yep. Agreed.
It's crazy. So that's crazy, Zach. Wow.
Sounds like a great turnaround.
Yeah. What else? What are you guys grateful for today? Anything exciting happened today? Any victories this week? Challenges?
Are
you thinking hard?
I'm thinking, yeah. I would say I'm in right now it's comfortable, but it is a stepped up pushing me pace. Like, I've got a lot going on and I am managing it, and just a lot of work, and then having a daughter, playing basketball, and just doing all the dad stuff. So a lot of traveling, a lot of responsibilities at work. So it's not anything that I'm stressed out about, but it's also not anything that I can just kick back and coast through, which is where I like to be. I like to be right on the front of the wave, riding it.
Yep.
Don't want to get caught inside with a big 10-footer come crash over.
That's a good point, though. That's a good point. For years, I mean, I guess I just forgot this until now, but I remember just being so overwhelmed with work and school and Silas and just like sobriety and emotions and just like I would freak out. Like not I mean like even a couple years ago, just like
Yeah.
freak out, get overwhelmed. I mean, freak out at work, my bosses, like and it happened every so often. And now I just like handle shit. I don't know, man. I guess I guess it gets easier.
It does. It
I didn't
definitely
even
does.
realize that. I don't struggle with that anymore.
It definitely,
That's
and
amazing.
that right there is exactly why I push all the time about once you kind of get sober, you've got a routine going on and you're sober. I think it's so important to start transitioning yourself to doing as little as possible to stay sober.
Yeah.
That sounds so counterintuitive to most people, but sobriety and being sober is not something that you should be working at all the time, because you should be out building life, and your sobriety is the foundation. So if you're constantly building a foundation, you're never going to build the house. You got to start building the house.
So explain that further. Like how I don't even know how to ask it. Like how do you know that you're doing that? I mean, I don't know how to question it. Like how do you okay, it's almost like people say life happens when life happens when you're busy making other plans or some shit.
Yeah, you're busy making other plans and life passes you by.
Oh, I thought I meant like life happens like when you're just I misinterpreted that.
Maybe I don't.
Damn, bro. I thought it meant like life happens and you don't even realize it.
Excuse me. I always took it as I had all these plans for life, and then while I was making those plans, it just went past me, and now I'm 80 years old, and here I am, haven't done shit.
Damn, man. No, I took it as a positive. What does that say about us?
Maybe you heard a different. We're thinking about different things.
I don't know. I'm just messing with you. But is that what you meant though? Oh shit. I'm delirious.
Well, I mean, so my point is that as soon as you're I would call it the level of sobriety where you are aware of your boundaries.
Yeah.
And you are comfortably sober. Okay. You're not having to struggle every day to get through the day and fight against taking the drink. You're not fighting against cravings. You know that you're an alcoholic, and you know that you're sober, and you're to the point where I am good right there. We're not coming out of detox. We're not trying to learn how to be sober, because it is a learned behavior as much as it is a physiological condition. It's a learned behavior. It's a learned state of being. When you get to the point where you're kind of, you're ready to kind of take the training wheels off, like when you're riding a bicycle, you're like, you know what, I got this. Let me take the training wheels off and try it. As soon as you're to that point, you got to get them training wheels off. Yeah. And you've got to start living life, and you've got to go out and find some things, find some goals, decide what it is you want to go and make happen for yourself. And you've got to do it. You've got to try, because there's so much more to learn about yourself and about life that you're never going to learn if you keep the training wheels on. Mm-hmm. You got to go out and try it.
I wanted you to explain that. That's what, because that happened with me. And so I think that is really important that we talk about this. Yeah. I was scared to even hang out with anybody that wasn't hardcore in 12-step fellowship with me. Yeah. That people that did middle of the road solution, quote. Yeah. I don't want nothing to do with them. They don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, right. I'm doing shit right. I'm doing this. And like, I don't want to be around anybody else. But like, I was fucking terrified underneath and I didn't even realize it. I was
Yeah,
terrified of the world.
That is a great way to say it. Terrified of the world.
I was hiding in the rooms. I was.
That right there is probably why I never got on board with AA as a whole, with the 12 steps, because I was always told, find the person in the room that's got the most sobriety, find the person in here who has what you want, go ask them how they did it and copy them. The people in the rooms that I was going to, and I went to a whole bunch of different rooms. It's not like I kept going to the same meeting over and over and over.
Right.
But I kept seeing different people, or I should say different people who were the same person.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was the same, I got 25 years sober and I'm like, okay, I am court ordered to be at these meetings, but you're here voluntarily every day. What else do why aren't you out living life? Like you're 55 years old and you're talking about your grandkids and how you wish you could see them more. Go fucking see them. You got 25 years of sobriety and it takes you coming to a meeting every day to stay sober. Brother, I hate to tell you, but we got other issues. If you can't stay sober more than a day without going to a meeting and you've been sober for 25 years, that's not a sobriety I want.
Well, and they would justify it and say, well, that's not why I come. It's to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
But what is it really? What is it really? Because it all boils down to, in my opinion, of not trusting myself, because I'm being told over and over and over and over and fucking over again. You can't trust yourself. You can't trust your own thoughts. You got your fucking disease out there doing push-ups.
Right.
And you cannot trust yourself. Do you know how fearful I was?
Yeah. And so our whole topic about learning to live life on life's terms requires that you be able to trust yourself.
Yeah. Had to.
You've got to be able to trust yourself. Now, go ahead.
It just goes against that idea kind of just goes against the whole thing. It like throws a monkey wrench in it. Right.
Right. And so I want to add in there that the people that I did go find who had gotten sober and had what I want, they all started in AA.
Yeah, me too.
And that's where I started. And I learned a lot in AA.
Yeah.
But like my divorce attorney, like he told me like after like the second meeting is since most of your issues are with alcohol, I'm 13 years sober. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. He goes, so I understand what you're going through. I was like, which meetings do you go to? He goes, I don't go to meetings anymore.
Yeah. My divorce attorney too.
He's like, I got what I needed and I don't go back. I was like, oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
I was like, you can do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the people that I saw who were doing what I wanted, which was to go out and live life, that were now sober, said, yeah, man, I got what I needed and kind of made my own program and I just am sober now. I was like, that's what I'm fucking doing.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I went about it.
Even a few years ago, I remember talking to someone being like, someone that isn't one of us in the program or recovery or whatever. And he was like, so you're telling me that like you go to these meetings and you count your days and you just abstain and like, but I had relapsed, right? I'm talking about, he's like, I don't really get it. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't fucking get it, man? And he's like, well, it just seems like if you're trying every day to not do something, like, wouldn't it make more sense to learn how to moderately do it? I'm like, well, you can't. I'm like, this, and this. Don't you know that?
Yeah.
My computer's about to die, but my charger's upstairs. So if it dies, sorry, I can go get it. But where the fuck? Oh, wait.
Good thing it's not a snake.
It's raining out.
You're in Florida.
I wish it would just rain my whole life. I love the rain.
Good question, Zach. What if you're addicted to negative thoughts and alcohol helps suppress those thoughts?
Take that one. Probably
Oh man. All right. So Lindsay's gonna go get a charger.
No, go ahead. You can
Well,
answer.
I mean, my first question, Zach, if you're comfortable answering it, is are you currently are you sober? Are you trying to get sober? Have you been sober for a while? So that kind of flavors the answer, I think, so to speak. But you know who has really good information on this is Joe Dispenza. If you don't know who he is, he's for lack of a better term, he's a guru about how you can use your thoughts basically to almost manipulate your reality through perception, stuff like that. But he knows what he's talking about from the physiological side, and it is completely possible to actually be addicted to negative thoughts because negative thoughts produce a certain cocktail of neurotransmitters to be released in the brain. And your body will physically become addicted and dependent on getting those neurotransmitters regularly. The same way that something like alcohol or drugs hijacks the dopamine system. You become physically addicted to that constant, steady stream of cortisol, the big one. As bad as cortisol is, it's a necessary neurotransmitter. But your body physically becomes addicted to those chemicals that are released from negative thinking. And so, yeah, alcohol might make you forget about those negative thoughts for a while. But my experience, and I think probably everybody who's got some time of sobriety, those negative thoughts, if you don't address them, just compound and compound and compound and compound and get larger and larger and larger.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're not going to be able to suppress them. No.
I mean,
a great example. We did this at a treatment center I went to. It's the funniest thing, you know. This was like early May in North Georgia, so it's still fairly chilly outside, but they had a pool here. He's like, everybody wear your bathing suits tomorrow. And we're looking around like, what? So we go out to the pool and she gives everybody beach balls. She's like, all right, hold them under the surface. And you've probably seen or heard this. So, yeah, okay, now let them go. And they just kind of bob there. Right? All right, now a little bit deeper, push it down. And let it go. And then, all right, go out to the deep end, push it down to the bottom. Who can get it down there? And obviously nobody can get it down there because what she's demonstrating to you is that the more you try to shove stuff down, the harder it is to keep it down there. And eventually it's going to come shooting to the surface. So,
well, I mean, I think that I experienced that this year.
Yeah.
And it's been coming in waves and it's not done. And so, yeah, I feel like I have the whole negative thoughts addiction. I don't know if that's what I call it, but we also tend to focus more on that, I believe, too. But I'm trying to, that's why I'm doing everything I can to try to change my thoughts and learning as much as I can, because I don't want to be.
Well, you know, so let's look at it from this perspective as well, from just a biological evolutionary standpoint. Negative thoughts and things that we're constantly looking out for are kind of hardwired into us because as a living organism, we want to survive.
Yeah.
And so depending on, there's a lot of interesting theories around this. I kind of think it's correct, but negative thinking and fixating on the negative in life, because we're not running from saber-toothed tigers now, is kind of the way that we are looking out for ourselves to survive. We go, that's a bad thing. I need to stay away from that. How do I stay away from that as much as possible? So we get fixated on whatever the negative issue is.
Right.
And so that fight or flight response, that will to survive, kind of trips us into always thinking about the negative, which you can definitely reprogram yourself to not do that. You can definitely, you hear about optimists, people who are optimists. Some people are born that way, but you can definitely become one. Definitely become one.
Trying.
Punch
Working on it.
walls and redo the drywall. That's my face. Oh man, yeah. Until you accidentally hit a stud.
I used to do that. My mom used to have to fix the damn wall.
Yeah.
Over and over.
So
Guess
but
who's getting
congrats on the
fired?
13 years, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I'm falling asleep.
I am so thankful that I never tried any type of sedative drugs because the way
Yikes.
alcohol affects me, because alcohol just jacked me up, man. Alcohol, like I was ready to go.
Yeah,
And so
man.
I know that I got something heavy and hard like that, it'd probably just not been long. Not been long.
Yeah. It's quick. You go down fast. Well, I think it's that time.
Yeah, Lindsay's fading.
I can't help it at 9:00. Like, no, I don't know if people don't believe me or what, man. I'm like, I'm fucking ready to go.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same one. From about 8:30 to 9:30, I'm like, okay. And then once about 9:30, 10 o'clock rolls around, if something has me interested, then I'm like, all right, damn it, now I gotta go to sleep.
Yeah, I can't even stay up. Like if I try, like it's impossible. Like I'm gonna go lay in bed and go to sleep. I love you guys.
All right, thanks for all the conversation. That was fun.
Yeah, we love having a chill sesh. We're just
Yeah, when you're sober, 10 o'clock becomes bedtime. That's right, man. 10 o'clock, I'm usually out.
I know, right? Shit's crazy. Oh God. Okay. All right.
Well, hey,
Bye,
y'all
guys.
like and share us. Like and share us.
Please subscribe, like, share. Love you guys. Love you. Bye.